The phone hit the courtroom floor with a crack. Brandon Ashford's face went white. Judge Frank Caprio had just done something no one in that courtroom had ever seen before. And what the judge said next would make headlines across the country. But here's what you need to understand first. Brandon Ashford, 19 years old, son of tech billionaire Marcus Ashford. This wasn't his first time in Providence Municipal Court. It was his fourth time in 8 months. Each time, Daddy's lawyers made it disappear. A fine here, a donation there, problem solved. But this time was different. Because this time, Brandon made 3 critical mistakes. The first mistake? He showed up 40 minutes late. The second? He walked in wearing a Supreme hoodie with his Rolex visible, AirPods still in his ears. The third mistake? Well, you're about to see. Inspector Quinn stood at the prosecutor's table shuffling papers. He'd seen plenty of repeat offenders, but something about this case bothered him. Brandon had been caught doing 72 in a 35 zone, right past Lincoln Elementary School, at 3:15 p.m., dismissal time, kids everywhere, crossing guards frantically blowing whistles. And Brandon? He was filming a TikTok, one hand on the wheel, phone in the other, caption, "Speed run to the bank LOL." The video had 340,000 views before his lawyer got it taken down, but Inspector Quinn had screenshots, and he wasn't letting this one slide. Judge Caprio entered the courtroom. Everyone stood, everyone except Brandon. He was texting. The bailiff cleared his throat, loudly. Brandon looked up, annoyed, then slowly stood. Judge Caprio noticed. He always noticed. But he said nothing. Not yet. The judge sat down and reviewed the case file. His reading glasses perched on his nose. He flipped through page after page. Then he looked up at Brandon. "Mr. Ashford, this is your 4th appearance before this court in 8 months. Is that correct?" Brandon shrugged. Actually shrugged. "I guess so, Your Honor." "I guess so." The prosecutor shifted his weight. The court reporter's fingers paused over her keyboard. Judge Caprio removed his glasses. "You guess so? Son, this is a court of law, not a social club. Do you understand why you're here today?" Brandon sighed like he was bored. "Yeah, I was going a little fast. I'll pay the fine. Can we wrap this up? I have plans at 4. Plans at 4. Judge Caprio's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed calm. "Inspector Quinn, please read the charges." Quinn stepped forward. "Your Honor, on October 23rd at approximately 3:15 p.m., Mr. Ashford was clocked at 72 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour school zone. Active dismissal was in progress. Multiple children were present. The defendant was observed operating his phone while driving. When stopped, he became verbally abusive to the officer." Brandon rolled his eyes. Actually rolled his eyes in court. "That cop was on a power trip. My lawyer said, 'Mr. Ashford.'" Judge Caprio's voice cut through the air like a blade. "You will speak when spoken to. Is that clear?" Brandon mumbled something. "Excuse me?" "Yes. Whatever. Whatever." The courtroom was so quiet you could hear the air conditioning humming. Judge Caprio leaned back in his chair. "Let me ask you something, son. Do you have any younger siblings?" Brandon looked confused by the question. "Yeah, my sister's 7. "Does she go to school?" "Private school, yeah." "And how would you feel if someone drove past her school at 72 miles per hour while she was trying to cross the street?" Brandon paused. For the first time, he seemed to actually think. "That's different." "How is it different?" "Because, I don't know. It just is." Judge Caprio nodded slowly. "I see. So the rules apply to everyone else, just not to you." Is that what you're telling me? I mean, I wasn't going to hit anyone. I had it under control. You had it under control while filming yourself on your phone in a school zone during dismissal. Brandon said nothing. Judge Caprio looked at the file again. Mr. Ashford, it says here your previous 3 violations were all resolved with fines paid by your father. Is that correct? Yeah, so let me ask you this. Have you ever paid for one of these fines yourself? Out of your own pocket? Money you earned? Brandon laughed. He actually laughed. Your Honor, I don't need to work. My trust fund. Your trust fund. Judge Caprio set the file down. So you've never worked a day in your life, never earned your own money, and you think that gives you the right to endanger children and disrespect this court? Brandon's smirk faded slightly. I didn't mean disrespect, You showed up 40 minutes late wearing headphones. You've been on your phone this entire hearing. You rolled your eyes at the charges. You laughed when I asked about your financial situation. Tell me, son, what part of that shows respect? Silence. Brandon's lawyer, a sharp-dressed man in his 50s, stood up. Your Honor, if I may... Sit down, counselor. I'm not finished. The lawyer sat. Judge Caprio turned back to Brandon. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you one chance to show me you understand the seriousness of what you did. I want you to apologize, not to me, to Inspector Quinn for your behavior during the traffic stop. Brandon stared at him. Are you serious? Deadly serious. Brandon looked at his lawyer. His lawyer nodded urgently. Do it. Brandon turned to Inspector Quinn. Sorry, I guess. Judge Caprio closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, something had changed. His voice was quieter now, but somehow more powerful. Mr. Ashford, I've been on this bench for over 30 years. I've seen thousands of people come through these doors. Poor people, rich people, good people who made mistakes, and people like you. He paused. Do you know what makes you different from most people who stand where you're standing? Brandon said nothing. Most people are scared. They're worried about how they'll pay the fine, worried about losing their license because they need it to get to work, to feed their families. They come in here humble, respectful, because they know they made a mistake and they're facing real consequences. Judge Caprio leaned forward. But you? You're not scared. You're not worried. Because you've never faced a real consequence in your entire life. And that, son, is about to change. Brandon's smirk vanished completely now. Inspector Quinn, what's the maximum penalty for this violation? Quinn looked at his notes. Your Honor, for reckless driving in a school zone with a prior history, the maximum is a $5,000 fine, 1-year license suspension, and up to 6 months in jail. Brandon's eyes went wide. Wait, jail? You can't... I can do whatever the law allows, Mr. Ashford. And right now the law allows me to teach you a lesson your father clearly never did. Brandon's lawyer stood again. Your Honor, my client is a first-time offender for this level of... First time. He's been here 4 times. Yes, but those were minor infractions, and they were all traffic violations, all showing the same pattern of entitlement and disregard for public safety. Sit down. The lawyer sat. Brandon's hands were shaking now, actually shaking. Judge Caprio pulled out a pen and began writing. The scratching sound filled the courtroom. Nobody moved. Finally, the judge looked up. Brandon Ashford, I'm fining you $10,000. Brandon's jaw dropped. 10,000. I'm not finished. That fine will be paid by you, not your father, not your trust fund. You. The court will set up a payment plan. You will get a job, and you will make monthly payments until it's paid in full. Brandon's face went red. How am I supposed to... Furthermore, your license is suspended for 18 months. That's a year and a half in case math isn't your strong suit. 18 months. The color drained from Brandon's face. But I need my car. How am I supposed to get around? Judge Caprio's expression didn't change. The same way millions of Americans get around every day. You'll walk. You'll take the bus. You'll ask for rides. You'll figure it out. Brandon's voice cracked. This is insane. You can't do this to me. I just did. Judge Caprio wasn't done. And here's the part I want you to remember for the rest of your life. You will complete 200 hours of community service. 200 hours. You will volunteer at Lincoln Elementary School, the same school where you endangered those children. You'll help with crossing guard duty. You'll assist in after-school programs. You'll see those kids' faces every single day and remember why you're there. Brandon's lawyer was frantically writing notes. Brandon himself looked like he might be sick. Your Honor, please. And one more thing. Judge Caprio picked up his phone. Brandon's phone. The one he'd been using all hearing. This phone was out and visible during these proceedings despite multiple warnings from the bailiff. I'm holding it in contempt of court. You'll get it back when you complete your first 50 hours of community service. He handed the phone to the bailiff. Brandon lunged forward. You can't take my phone! The bailiff stepped between them. Judge Caprio's voice turned to ice. I can, and I just did. And if you take one more step toward that bench, I'll add 30 days in jail to your sentence. Do you want to test me? Brandon froze. His chest was heaving. His eyes were watering. The judge continued. You came in here thinking your money made you special, that your last name put you above the law. Let me tell you something, son. In my courtroom, everyone is equal. The millionaire and the minimum wage worker stand on the same floor, under the same law. He gestured to the gallery. There's a single mother out in that hallway right now waiting for her case. She's terrified because she got a parking ticket and she doesn't know how she'll pay the $50 fine. She took 3 buses to get here because she doesn't own a car. She brought her baby because she couldn't afford a sitter. And she'll stand before me with more dignity and respect than you've shown today. Brandon's head dropped. You want to know why I'm being so hard on you? Brandon didn't answer. Because someone needs to teach you that actions have consequences. Real consequences. Not the kind your father's checkbook can erase. And if you're angry at me right now, good. Be angry. Let that anger motivate you to become better. Judge Caprio closed the file. You have 2 weeks to enroll in the community service program. You have 30 days to surrender your license. And you have 45 days to make your first payment on that fine. If you miss any of these deadlines, there will be a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? Brandon's voice was barely a whisper. Yes, Your Honor. I can't hear you. Yes, Your Honor. Good. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Ashford out. His lawyer can explain the details. Brandon turned to leave. His walk was different now, slower, heavier, the weight of reality finally pressing down on him. But Judge Caprio wasn't finished. Mr. Ashford. Brandon stopped and turned. I'm not doing this to destroy you. I'm doing this to save you. Because if you keep going down this path, eventually you're going to hurt someone, maybe even kill someone. And no amount of money can fix that. Do you hear me? Brandon's eyes were red now. Yes, sir. Then prove me wrong. Prove that you're better than the person who walked into this courtroom today. Can you do that? For the first time, Brandon's voice was steady. I'll try. Then you're dismissed. Brandon walked out. The courtroom stayed silent for a full 10 seconds. Then someone in the gallery started clapping, slowly at first. Then others joined. Within seconds, the entire courtroom was applauding. Judge Caprio raised his hand. Order! We still have other cases. But even he couldn't hide the slight smile. Inspector Quinn approached the bench. "Your Honor, in 20 years, I've never seen anything like that." Judge Caprio shook his head. "I've been doing this job a long time, Inspector, and I've learned that sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is refuse to enable them. That kid needed someone to tell him no. Let's hope he listens." The video of Brandon's hearing hit social media that night. Within 24 hours, it had 3 million views. Within 48 hours, it was on the national news. The comments section exploded. "This is what justice looks like. Judge Caprio is a legend. That kid needed this." Finally, someone held a rich kid accountable. But the story doesn't end there. Because 3 months later, something unexpected happened. Judge Caprio was in his chambers reviewing cases when his clerk knocked. "Your Honor, someone's here to see you. Says it's important." "I'm busy. Who is it?" "Brandon Ashford." Judge Caprio looked up. "Send him in." Brandon walked in. He looked different. His hair was shorter. His clothes were normal. No Rolex. He stood there awkwardly. "Your Honor, I wanted to thank you." Judge Caprio gestured to a chair. "Sit. Talk to me." Brandon sat. "When you sentenced me, I hated you. I went home and punched a wall. Broke my hand. Had to get a cast." He held up his left hand, still wrapped. "My dad was furious. Not at me. At you. He wanted to appeal, get you removed from the bench, the whole thing. But I told him no." Judge Caprio raised an eyebrow. "You told him no?" "Yeah, because after I calmed down, I realized something. You were right. About everything. I was a spoiled brat. I didn't respect anyone or anything, and I was going to hurt someone eventually." He took a breath. "I've been working at Lincoln Elementary for 11 weeks now. I help with crossing guard duty every morning and afternoon. And you know what? Those kids are amazing. They're smart and funny, and they actually care about stuff. And I almost killed one of them because I was too busy filming a stupid TikTok." His voice cracked. "There's this one girl, Emma. She's 8. She waves at me every morning, gives me high fives, and last week she told me I was her favorite helper. And I broke down crying in my car afterward because I realized that if I'd hit her that day, she wouldn't exist anymore. And it would have been my fault." Judge Caprio said nothing, just listened. "I got a job, too. I work at a coffee shop. It's minimum wage and my feet hurt and customers are rude sometimes, but I'm making my payments. I've paid $1,500 so far, on my own." He smiled. "It feels good. Earning something myself. I never knew that." Judge Caprio leaned back. "Brandon, I appreciate you coming here, but why are you telling me this?" "Because you saved my life, and I needed you to know that." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Judge Caprio stood and extended his hand. Brandon shook it. "You're going to be okay, son. You know that?" "I hope so." "I know so. Now get out of here. You've got coffee to serve." Brandon laughed and walked out. Judge Caprio sat back down, and for the first time in weeks, he felt that familiar feeling. The reason he became a judge in the first place. He'd changed someone's life, not by going easy, but by refusing to. The story of Brandon Ashford went viral again when he posted his own video 3 months later, titled, "The Judge Who Saved My Life." In it, he explained everything. His entitlement, his sentence, his transformation. The video got 10 million views, and thousands of comments from people saying Judge Caprio inspired them. But the judge himself never watched it. He was too busy, doing what he does best, changing lives, one case at a time. So here's my question for you. Have you ever met someone like Brandon used to be? Someone who needed a wake-up call? Drop a comment and let me know your story. And if you believe in judges like Frank Caprio who actually care about justice, not just processing cases, hit that subscribe button for all rise. Because we've got more incredible stories coming, including what happened when a homeless veteran appeared before Judge Caprio with no money and no hope. That story will restore your faith in humanity. I'll see you in the next one.